What's up, everybody? This is All Things Cheryl, unapologetically. All Things Cheryl, unapologetically. And basically, we are here to do the review and recap on episode 12. Episode 12. I believe it's episode 12. Let me make sure. Yes, it is episode 12. And before I go further into the reviews, I want to say congratulations to Ava DuVernay and Oprah for getting picked back up. So we are going to have a season 4, and congratulations, and I'm here for the ride. So, episode, it's called. Oh, and before I go either further, because I always forget to ask you guys to continue to check me out, continue to look at some of the videos, continue to do my review, continue to check me out as I go about doing my reviews. I like for you to click, subscribe, share, view, and hit the notification. Most of all, I'm looking for you to view so I can basically pump up my watch time. I'm noticing that my watch time is basically really getting better. You guys are coming and checking on me. Consistency, and I'm seeing that it is the key. So, with all of that, let's go. In episode, we see that, Aunt Vi is beginning to do her thing. She's getting ready to go big time. She is basically going big time. We see, we see that Charlie is basically getting ready to go to work at Queen Sugar, and she is basically watching the interview on TV, and Aunt Vi is basically talking about her pies and telling everybody to come and check her out, and I believe that Aunt Vi is getting ready to go worldwide, and she's going to be big, and then she's going to play a very important part in this jail, a very important part about this jail that's coming through. While Charlie is get ready to go to work, Prosperous is talking to his daughter on the phone, and he's really excited. Excuse me. He's really excited about the fact that he believes in his mind that he's going to be able to get his house back. And so he tells his daughter, he says, "Look, I gotta go um, to get ready for this meeting that we are about to do." While he hangs up and he have a conversation with Charlie, and he tells Charlie that um, he has a meeting at High Yellow to basically talk about this jail that they're basically trying to build in St. Joe's Parish. And so Price also suggests to Charlie that she should be basically the spokesman, for all of the black farmers in St. Joe's Parish. And so Charlie tells Prosperous that she don't think that it would be wise or best that she be the spokesperson. And on the face of Prosperous, we can see that he was totally disappointed. And so this is when he asked Charlie, he says, "Well, why?" And so this is when Charlie finally tells Prosperous that um, she sold the mill. And she says, "I sold the mill, I sold Queen Sugar." And basically, she tells Prosper, the reason why I sold Queen Sugar is to give the black farmers leverage. And so Prosperous was very, very disappointed to hear the fact that Charlie had sold Queen Sugar. But later on, we see that even though he was disappointed, he still told Charlie that he is still going to rock with her, no matter what the consequences is going to be, no matter what the outcome is going to be. He still is going to hang out, he's still going to be with her. He still, support her. And so we go on and we see that at the church, no, at the school, we see that Micah has basically went to the school to see some of the people in to see the little act up crew, to see exactly, what's going on, what's going down. Since Aunt, we find out that Aunt is under house arrest. And so he goes to the school and he, have a conversation with KJ, and then basically Michael tells KJ that we basically have to do something as far as what's going on with Aunt. And so, but KJ is really, really not really for it. He basically tells Michael, says, look, we done the best we can. And basically one thing that stuck out to me in all of this conversation, the best thing that stuck out to me was when he told Michael that basically you're going to be okay. And is under house arrest. And even if something like that should happen to you, it wouldn't be a big deal with you being under a house arrest due to the big fancy house that basically he told Michael that he lived in. And he told Michael in so many words basically um, it would be good for him to be an outsider, not an insider, basically because he was showing him, his pictures and everything that he was doing. And he said that it would be best that you be behind the picture and not in the picture. And so this is when KJ goes on and tell Michael that we can do the best we can, and unfortunately things like this happen, and it would be best that everybody basically lay low until everything kind of sort of died down, and then which it struck a chord with me again when KJ tells him that we need to make it to college. That's what we need to do. We need to escape, and we need to escape to college. Now, Micah is like, I believe the conversation that Davis had with Michael basically struck a chord. So he's really thinking before he, basically make any moves. Well, before that, Michael was basically at home, and basically he told his mother that he was basically going to go over and to see and to visit Aunt. And of course, Charlie did not want Michael to be around or associate with any of those kids or anything like that with the act up crew. And so Michael was upset when his mother said, well, I don't want you there. And Michael is like, he's really, really being defiant. Not really being defiant. He's looking at himself, and he really wants to, make a statement. And so he tells his mother, he says that Ant is basically all by himself, and that he doesn't need to be taking this all by himself. So in the meantime, while we see Michael goes to visit Ant, and Ant is basically, basically having the same conversation, somewhat the same conversation that KJ had with him. And unfortunately, which I too particularly didn't care for, that we thought, at least I thought, that Michael was going to be the one who was going to go down and who was going to be the one that, gets caught. But unfortunately, it wasn't. It was Aunt, and Aunt was the one. And basically, Aunt was saying, well, um, we just doing it, it is what it is, and he's going to hang in there. And then this is when Michael tells Aunt that he's basically going to be with him. He's basically going to be there for him, and he's not going to leave his side or any of that. And so this is when Aunt tells Michael that, well, Michael asks Aunt, says, well, um, how much time do you have? And Aunt says, well, I have about maybe 6 months in juvie, because they're basically going to put him in juvie. Says, I have about 6 months. He says, well, I'm going to miss prom. I was preparing myself for, I was preparing myself to visit various colleges and stuff like that. Not going to be able to do that. So and Michael is basically looking at, the things that they did, and they now begin to realize that the choice that they made was not, was not a smart move. And so Michael is basically kind of upset, and he don't really want his best friend to go, but unfortunately, that's what happens when you move and not really thinking before you move. And like his aunt told him, basically, you guys, you're gonna make you are gonna make an important statement, but you really think before you move. And I believe Davis and Nova actually got to Micah. So we go on, and we see that basically what's happening with Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi is getting ready to blow up big time, guys. Getting ready to blow up big time. And we see that Aunt Vi is, in the midst of a couple of things. She's in the midst of putting together her wedding, and in the midst of this, all of a sudden, this big boom on Vi and the Pies. And so we have Charlie and Nova and Vi is all together in the kitchen. And Vi says, well, I need you all to help me. And this is when we see now Charlie. Charlie is basically on the phone talking to, we don't know who she's talking to, although I know who she's talking to. But we will find out later on as we go on. And so this is when Vi kind of sort of getting upset with Charlie, because Charlie is really immersed in this conversation. And so Vi says, Charlie, come on over here. And so when Charlie comes over there, then Charlie says, well, I thought you were supposed to be so busy with your pies. Just says, yes, I am. But in the meantime, I got to figure out what the seating is going to be. It's because apparently, I don't know, Hollywood must have really ran into some huge money. The reason why I'm saying that he must have ran into some huge money, this must have been a real serious settlement, because she says that Hollywood is basically ordering some invitation from Morocco, and that she needs to get this seating together, for the wedding. So we go on and we hear advice telling Charlie and them, well, we're going to sit Nova and Blue and Ralph Angel together, and then we're going to set Charlie, we're going to set you over here. And then Charlie basically tells everybody, she says, well, can you give me an extra seat? So everybody is basically looking at Charlie and saying, what's with the extra seat? What going on? What going on? And so then that's when she went to ask Nova, and she says, well, Nova, who are you bringing to the wedding? And Nova basically says, well, I'm not bringing, no. If I ask, well, who's coming with you? Is it going to be a woman or is it going to be a man? Because we know that Nova is bisexual. And so basically Nova tells Envi, says, I can basically stand on my own. I don't need nobody to be escorted to a wedding or whatever. And so then Violet began to notice that Charlie and Nova has been really, as she was saying, being really nicey tiptoeing around each other to not to so they won't explode on each other, because they're famous for blowing up on each other. And so this is when Nova goes on and tells everybody that she did have somebody special, and that her and Remy was, kind of sort of, doing a little thing. And then this is when I love what she says to her. This is when we find out that um she was dating in Charlie's sloppy seconds. This is when she said, since when you started picking up Charlie's second sloppy seconds? I was like, oh my God, everybody, you punching right now. Sloppy seconds. And so this is when Aunt Violet took the moment to kind of sort of dig in at Nova again. So it seems that Aunt Violet has, she's in it for Nova, because and then she says, okay, you are really reaching for it. You doing all of this. You need to get yourself together. And these decisions that basically she's saying that these decisions that you were making, they're not good decisions. But basically, everybody would say, well, you can basically do whatever you want, because you're grown. So you got the right to do that because you're grown. And so then this is when we find out that um, we go on and we see that everybody is piling into, I don't know whether it's the town hall meeting. Everybody is piling into the town hall meetings, and everybody is basically there. And then everybody is sitting down. And then this is when Charlie is Charlie is sitting with Ralph Angel, and Nova is not sitting with them. Nova is sitting way on the other side. And then Ralph Angel noticed something, and this is when Ralph Angel is asking, what's going on with you and Nova? And Charlie really didn't say anything. She just sat down beside Ralph Angel. And then Ralph Angel said, you guys are getting really messy. Y'all get really messy. And you're right, Ralph Angel. They are really getting messy. But messiness in how they handle each other. They love each other, but they just have different ways in how they go about doing things. And so we see all of this people gathering and stuff, right? And so this is when we see the guy who is basically making the pitch to the people at St. Joe's Parish as to what their plans are. And this is when he starts reading off letters stating that people are very, excited due to the fact that this jail is coming in. And so this is when stuff start popping off. And so Ralph Angel is basically sitting there and listening to all of this babbling that they're going on, and all of these lies that they say that they are going to be promising, like schools. And someone said, we don't need any schools. We don't need that something that's already broken. And then this is when Remy got up. He basically said his little two spiel, saying that we don't need anyone to basically come in and to try to fix the problem, or to try to fix the problem, or to try to bring in certain things and then turn around and say that you basically fix the problem. Basically, you have a point there. And so Ralph Angel is basically sitting beside Charlie and watching Charlie, and Ralph is saying, Ralph Angel is saying, say something, say something. You're not going to say anything? And Ralph Angel said, you need to say something, say something, say something. And so this is when Charlie basically gets up. And remember the farmers now in episode second season, the farmer was basically jumping ship because Sam Landon was basically throwing out lies saying that, the sugar was basically getting stuck, and a lot of the black farmers basically jumped ship. And so Charlie finally got up and started asking questions. She says, there's more to, Charlie made a serious speech. And if you guys are not aware of it, Ava May is very big on prison reform. The reason why I said Ava is very, very big on prison reform, Ava received a award for her documentary on 13. And basically 13 talks about the amount of people and amount of prisons that's basically being built now. And basically the same thing as to what the mansion are trying to do. They are basically trying to build prison for profit. Now, in Charlie's speech, he basically said something that I had no idea that basically this was going on. She basically told them that when they get locked up and they go into jail. Maybe some people might already knew this, but I didn't. When they go to jail, they basically become the residents, but they're the residents, but they are in a position where they cannot vote, but they are calculated as being a resident of that particular ward where that jail is. And not only is it that, they also, like Charlie was saying in his speech, they also get free labor. And they also will be locking up, people, and basically the people that will be wind up in that prison, we know who's going to be wind up in that prison is, people of color and Hispanic and Latino people of color. And so if you are not aware and if you have not seen to get you, up to rest about prison reform in jails for profit, then you basically need to go and check out this movie and check out this documentary. It's very, very good. I learned some things. And so we go on. While we're dealing with this, we see that Vibes basically have not made it to the town meeting because she's basically, at the shop, at the kitchen, trying to fill all of these orders that she got. Now, Nova. Not Nova, but, excuse me, Ava. But you not? Well, we might as well look, if you want to be snuffing out Aunt Violet, because we know that, look, girl, I was basically upset. I was thinking to myself, no, you're not, Ava. Now, you've been picking with us about Aunt Violet for quite some time. You've been picking with us. At least, you know what? I can't even talk because I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And you've done this, how many times? You've done this 3 times to us, where Aunt Violet is getting into Christ. And basically she winds up going to the emergency room. And this is where we learn that Aunt Violet's, I guess her glands or something has been infected and has been inflamed. And this is where she finally tells the family that basically she has lupus. And everybody was basically, jumping off the chart, and they, rightfully so, they had the right to do that, to read it by the riot act, because she did held it in so long before she basically told the family. She told everybody else except the family, and the family should have been the first one that she told. But she said that her reasons for not saying anything is because they are very, very protected. When it comes to the Waterlawns and family, they may be screwing up and they may be a dysfunctional family. But all in all, when it all boils down to it, they love each other like no other family. And so this is when, and I was surprised that Toddy was basically able to maintain herself, because she could go off the chart sometimes, when she finds out things in at the last minute. But she was basically kind of cool. But later on in the scene, we hear that um, Ralph Angel said that that he and the family that has basically gone through this once before, with Ernest, due to the fact that they basically work themselves to the bone, they get sick, and then the family dynamic suffers when the two matriarchs. Now, one of the matriarchs of the family, that's Ernest, has passed on. Now we have another matriarch of the family, which is Aunt Violet, and Aunt Violet has a incurable disease such as lupus. So anything could basically happen to Violet, because we never know when she's going to have an attack. And so she has to be very, very careful. And so Ralph goes on to say that, he can't really, deal with the fact that, Aunt Violet is, sick, and that they have basically been down this road again, and he doesn't think whether or not if he can deal with it. But you will, Ralph Angel, you will, and you're going to have to. So we go on, and so we find out the reason why. She says, well, she didn't really want to bother anybody. And this is when she tells the family that she's kind of like, she's ready to go and go back to her kitchen and basically get these orders and stuff and Violet, look, those pies, I understand how you feeling. You're beginning your career, and you beginning the second phase of your life, as far as where you want to go, and you are afraid that everything that you have basically worked for, you will basically lose it due to the fact that you are sick now. And Violet, let your family know what's going on, and let your family help. So this is when Noah stepped up to the plate and said, well, basically she will go to the shop and make sure that everything is taken care of, and that all of these orders that have been placed will come to fruition. And so this is when the whole complete family basically stepped up to the plate. Now, while we're at the shop, we see that we're at the shop, and we see that someone has decided that they want to basically come down and to assist with the pies. And that person who I'm basically, you see my smiley face kind of sort of, right? Well, that person who I'm talking about is Romero. Now, Romero comes to the shop, and he comes in. And Romero is really, really nice looking. And everybody is like, who this man? It's almost like in The Color Purple, who this woman? But right now, the family is like, who this man? And so this is when Charlie introduced Romero to the family. And so this is when Charlie takes Romero out to help her, put the pies on the truck. And so this is when Romero basically comes in and makes his move and asks Charlie if she would consider and allow him to cook dinner. And I'm saying to myself, I was like hollering to the TV. I was like, Charlie, get you some. You haven't had any and you need some. We're going to be rude and we're hoping that Romero is going to be the one that's really for you. We're hoping. But it looks like because they do have chemistry. So, Charlie, we're rooting for you. We want you to get some because you really need it. With all this stress that's going on around you, you need to release some of that stress and you need to release it on Romero. Let him feel the wrath of Charlie, the borderlands. So as Aunt Violet was saying, you haven't felt the wrath of the borderlands. So Romero, you're getting ready to feel the wrath of Charlie. And so Charlie decides that, she's flirtatious and, she's all in it. And so we go on. In the meantime, we're back at the town hall meeting. While we're at the town hall meeting, guess who's in the bathroom? Charlie's basically in the bathroom, doing her thing, freshening up and everything. And this is when we see one of the women who basically had to leave Queen Sugar because the landlady had locked up her son, and she basically needed to leave, and she needed to get money in order to get her son bailed out of the jail. And so she tells Charlie, "Thank you." And so Charlie took it. And then this is when we see Sam's sister. Now, fool me once, fool me twice, three times is a charm. So we go on and we see that Sam's sister, I don't know her name, I'm just going to call it Sam's sister, is having a conversation with Charlie. And basically what she is saying is that she believed that they basically will be able to, that the councilmen will vote the jail down. And she goes on and leads Charlie to think that they may have one person who will probably maybe vote against the jail. And so that person is, I think it's the councilman Ward. His name is Ward. And so Charlie said something, I can't remember the dialogue, what she said to Sam's wife. And so we go in, and this is where we basically get the vote. And so basically the vote was basically 3-4. And the decision vote was basically the vote that Charlie and Sam's sister was depending on. He voted for the jail, not against the jail. And so once again, Sam's sister has led Charlie down that road, down that dark road, thinking that that they were going to basically basically leverage and to be able to turn it around. And so I'm like, I'm not quite sure about Sam's sister. I don't know whether or not, if indeed, is she really, really for Charlie, or if she really, really against Charlie. Is because she says all of the right words to Charlie, and I don't know, for some reason Charlie is very being very taken with her and kind of, allowing this to happen, which is basically unusual for Charlie. So we go on and we see that Blue. And then Blue has kind of been acting up too. We got Blue and then we got Michael. Right? Blue and Michael. Both of them are kind of acting up. They've really, really been just really going for it these last couple of episodes. So we see that Blue is basically with his mother, Darla. And Darla is basically trying to teach Blue how to, ride the bike. And so when the scene first opened, we see that Darla and Ralph Angel was talking about the bike helmet and that the fact that she is basically going to be with Blue, teaching him how to ride the bike. And so we see this scene. And we see that Darla and Blue is trying to, Darla is trying to teach Blue how to ride the bike. And so this is when Blue tells Darla, says, don't let go, hold on. And Darla basically wasn't getting it right. And so Blue fell down a couple of times. And then this is when Blue just stopped in the midst of everything, got off the bike, took his helmet off, threw the helmet down, and walked away. While Darla is basically calling, Blue, Blue, Blue. And Blue is like, you know what? This ain't working. You don't know what you're doing, and I gotta go. I'm falling all over the place, and basically he's saying in his mind, this ain't working. I ain't coming back to this. I'm gonna fall again. And so, in the meantime, we go on and we see that the boat has not gone the way that the townsmen, St. Joseph, and the parents wanted to go. Basically, Ava, are you really going to build a jail knowing that you have a big thing about jail reform, prison reform, and you gonna go with this? You gonna tell this storyline, even though it's a great storyline, but I think I can kind of see where you basically going, and I'm gonna tie it up. And so we see Blue and Darla together, basically showing and teaching Blue how to ride the bike. So Ralph Angel tells Blue to come in and that we just don't give up on, certain things like that. And so we see that Darla and Ralph Angel are together, and Blue learns how to ride his bike. Ralph Angel is excited due to the fact that Blue knows how to ride his bike. He was basically there. Remember in the last episode, he said he wanted to teach Blue how to ride his bike. He had just took the training wheels. Also, he's with Blue, teaching Blue how to ride the bike. So he was so excited, and they were so excited, and that unconsciously, Ralph Angel grabbed Darla and gave her a hug, unconsciously. And they basically hugged each other. And then this is where we have the conversation where is that Darla and Ralph Angel has come to an agreement with the co-parenting issue. They have decided that basically they are going to do a 50-50 now. And it ends like that. Although he goes on and he tells Darla, when I get off of this probation, and I'm going to be able to take you to a lot of places, and basically one of the places is I want to take him to Disney World, and then Darla asked him, well, is it Disney World or Disneyland? And Ralph Angel said, well, to both of them, we just going to go places and do things. And so this was a very good, deep, interesting channel um, episode. But let me tell y'all, we in for a rocky ride. We in for a rocky ride, and the reason why I said that we are in for a rocky ride is because remember, I'm gonna take you back a little bit in episode in season 1. Well, apparently Ava was planning to put this prison in St. Joe all the while. The reason why I say that, and Sam had basically already had plans due to the fact that the matriarch of the family has passed away. And so they was under the assumption that since Ernest was gone, that it would be kind of like easy for them to just kind of like slide in there, basically take up all of the black farmers' land and plant this jail, underneath the people without any problem. But little did they know, they had no idea that they had the borderlands to contend with. And they had no idea that they had this little tiny little woman coming from, the West Coast with her son to light some fire underneath their asses. And Charlie is a force to be reckoned with. And they had no idea that Charlie and that Ernest had a daughter that had so much so much energy, so much passion, and that she is a smart businesswoman. But apparently it seems that every time she kind of like, do one step to Sam, he's like 10 steps ahead of her. But he had this plan for this prison all the while, because as we went into season 1 and we went into season 2, this is when everything was beginning to unravel, was beginning to see exactly what they were basically up to. Because in season 1, they had the drones flying over the borderlands land. We found out that the Boujons and the Lands was right on the borderline of the borderlands. So now we have the prison to come in. And basically what the lawyers are saying, that the government can basically come in and just take their land. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Because the reason why I say that is because at the very end we see that um, Prosperous. Prosperous pull out his, he pulled out his little flip phone. And he basically called his daughter, and he told his daughter to come and get him. That he's basically ready to go. And the reason why we now know the reason why, Prosper's been putting everything off is because he was under the assumption that he was going to get his house back. So, and then we see that, and I know I keep going because everything keeps popping. And then we see that once everybody, got the word that the prison is going to come in, then we see Charlie basically in her room, and she is just like so taken to the fact that this is happening. And then something else I'm missing. It was a beautiful scene. We saw that when we found out that Empire had lupus, we saw a beautiful scene between her and Hollywood. Um, Hollywood is basically giving her a bath, and we see that beautiful scene between the two of them. In the meantime, this is all I have. I don't have no more, but look, um, we're going to be in for a rocky ride just because Next week there it will be, I think, an hour and a half, a little longer, and we're going to see a lot of stuff, but because I saw some stuff, and something really came to me when I saw one of the preview clips trailer of Ralph Angel, parole officers coming and letting him know that he has been, I think even he has been approved for early parole. But then in another clip, we see where they have basically um, locked Ralph Angels up. He's getting ready to go back to jail. And I'm saying, oh shit, they're really going to give it to us next week. They're going to give it to us next week. And I'm thinking now, I'm going to tell y'all guys, I know this is a little longer, but I'm just going to go ahead with it. Remember when Ralph Angel, I think he robbed the store for the second time, and this little white woman recognized him? I think that's going to come back to bite Ralph Angel in the bun buns. Tell me what you think about that. Do you think the reason why Ralph Angel is going to land in jail is because of that robbery that he made that second time and the white woman recognized who he was? I'm done. I can't think of anything else. So in the meantime, peace and love, and remember, love is for everyone. And I will see you guys next Thursday. After I look at Queen Sugar on Wednesday, I will basically come back and give you. We don't know now. Remember, they left us with the DNA, so we gotta sit and wait. Love you. Peace.